Hello and welcome back everybody to Spiral's Adventures in SSF. Today we are going to be talking about my new build that SSF told me I was going to play. And if you're just joining us and this is your first time here, thanks for coming in. If you were here on the first video, you'll know that I was playing Poison Range Animate Weapon. And I talked about the fact that I was probably going to make a Winter Orb character sometime soon. Well, that sometime soon came very quickly because not only did we drop Relikeshes with the maximum power charge, but we also dropped a Badge of the Brotherhood, and we had a Light of Meaning with a cold damage on it. And then Kadiro gifted us an Unnatural Instinct. So between all of those things, I decided it was time to just go ahead and roll Power Charge stacking Winter Orb. And we're going to talk about that build right now. So before we get too much further into it, I'll show you a map showcase. I've got a map all rolled up here already. It's a T16.5. We're just going to throw some Breach Scarabs and Domination Scarabs with a Monstrous Lineage. I don't have a ton of Scarabs right now. I haven't been underwater too much lately. So we're just going to do a quick map showcase here of this character. I did just get finished farming up Pact of Lycia for this character, so that's a huge damage buff. And all we do with Pact of Lycia is we hit it once, we channel for 3 seconds at the beginning of the map, and it stays up for the remainder of the map, because that's how Pact of Lycia plays with Winter Orb. And as you can see, the damage on this build is absolutely nutty. I am going to pick up shrines and stuff because this build is kind of made for that. But shrines, I mean, even without the shrines, this build absolutely destroys non-Uber content. And I believe this build actually just has more single target damage than my summoner at this point. And my summoner already was killing Ubers. So we'll talk about that once we get back to the hideout, but the clear on this build is what I am absolutely loving. Entire screen Herald pops. It's the old, glory days of Herald of Ice, as you can kind of see. I'm using a fairly, low-key MTX because I don't like things getting too crazy on the screen. You can make this look absolutely absurd with different MTXs for Herald of Ice, but I don't particularly care to do that. So yeah, let's work our way through this map here real quick. As you can see, everything just gets absolutely obliterated immediately. There's no double gas or anything like that. Everything just explodes. My Herald of Ice pops really do a good job of clearing all the way off screen when they have anything to touch. So Pact of Lycia leveled up. As you can see, I just got Pact of Lycia. It's not even level 20 yet. But yeah, this is the clear. This is the playstyle. You literally just run around tapping right click every once in a while. If you're curious as to POB stuff, I'm literally copying Fubgun's POB. I'm on his power charge stack version basically at this point. Just I don't have the discipline sublime visions. I think that's the biggest difference, and I don't have double power charge rings. Other than that, most of my gear is actually pretty similar to what you would see in his POB. I haven't actually POB'd myself, but I think my single target damage would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 30 million. As you'll see with this room, it's absolutely gets obliterated. So yeah, let's just go ahead and rush here. We don't need to clear everything, but alright, we'll show you the boss real quick. As you can see, 11 Frenzies, 11 Absorption Charges, which are coming from my belt here, Graven Secret, and then I occasionally pick up Endurance Charges. That doesn't happen very often, but channel Winter Orb all the way up to 11 as well. Winter Orb will stay at 11. The Absorption Charges and Power Charges and Energy Charges can actually go up. I do technically still have more Power Charges that I can pick up on this build. So What am I wearing? Let's start there. I don't have the best wand. I just have the Foulborn Toolfall with the add spell damage per power charge. I haven't even qualitied it with the area of effect enchant. In fact, let's do that right. I think I have enough juice for the area of effect enchant. Oh, I absolutely do. All right, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. We'll quality our wand, because this is the best that you should technically be running. Area of effect. There you go. Area of effect for 4 quality. So now we've got a little bit more area of effect because, yeah, you don't need damage, obviously. So, core uniques of the build. Obviously, the core unique of the build is Relic Ashes and Patience. You can't power charge stack without these, and that is because of a couple of other mechanics that we'll go over. First being the Malachai's Loop. This is +2 max power charges, but it's lose all power charges when reaching max. So the reason this works is because I count as having max power charges, but I never actually own a power charge. So we never lose power charges. And then it says shocks you when reaching max, but again, we never reach maximum power charges. We just count as having them, but we never gain power charges at all. We actually gain absorption charges from our belt instead. And absorption charges basically just say 12% of elemental damage is energy shield per absorption charge. So we're actually recouping 120% of elemental damage taken as ES. I think that does technically over recoup. Somebody, if you see this and you want to comment and I'm wrong, please let me know. But I believe that literally anything over like 9 power charges, basically if you take 10 elemental damage, you actually recoup 12 elemental damage over 4 seconds is how that works. So, yeah, I haven't corrupted any of these. I think I technically do have another Graven Secret that I tried to corrupt and didn't hit anything on. I thought I had another one here. Graven Secret, unique font. No, I've only dropped 1 Graven Secret, which is why I've not corrupted this one yet, because I'm afraid of corrupting it and hitting and bricking it and not having another one to go to, which is why it hasn't been, which is why it has not been corrupted yet. Obviously, I'm not corrupting my Ralakeshes. This taming is not corrupted. I corrupted 2 other tamings, but we didn't hit anything. They literally stayed the same. We just finally picked up our first Foulborn Ramirez Banquet. I will probably only run 1 of these for now, just because of the fact that capping resistances with double Foulborn Ramirez is actually quite the chore. I currently have decent resistances on my gloves, as well as really solid resistances on my chest piece, and as you can see, we are still very, very tight on resistances because of the fact that we're wearing so many unique items. So the other 2 pieces of the build, Will Clash, super common unique helm. The big thing about this is that you get all of your block chance. So this gives us 5% chance to block spell damage per power charge. This literally just gives us 65% block. Like if I take this helmet off, I go from I go from 65 to 10%, right? And then it also gives us a ton of energy shield because our ascendancy tells us that maximum energy shield is increased by chance to block spell damage. So if you notice, we're at 5,200 there. We go all the way down to 3,900 without a Will Clash on. So Will Clash is definitely a mandatory unique. It's a T5. Like, I've found a half a dozen of these. I've been corrupting them. My current one isn't corrupted because I went ahead and divined this one to 5%, and then I haven't corrupted it yet. So I think the other Will Clash I had wasn't 5%, which is why yeah, so oh no, this one is 5%, but it's corrupted, so I guess I could corrupt this one. But I forgot to quality this one before I corrupted it, which is awkward. So I will probably like try to get quality on this one and then corrupt this one later. Corrupting is actually a pretty big deal for this build in particular because a lot of the corrupted implicits go really hard. Like if I got something like +2 cold gems, that would just give us 2 more you know, 2 more levels on our Herald device, for example. As far as I know, you can no longer get +1 power charge on a helm, so that is a thing to be aware of. But you can now get +1 charges on like your rings, and I believe you can get them on the shield as well. So there's ways that I can corrupt for more power charges still. So the reason I'm playing this build is literally just because the SSF god said, here, have a bunch of gear for the meta build. And so I decided, why not? As you can see, I'm already level 98 on this character. And this has gone pretty smooth. Like, this build just clears so fast and freezes everything around you that you really don't have to worry about too much as far as damage goes. All you have to do is solve for defenses, and I've got 5200 ES, which is really actually low right now, but I'm about to start working on my King's March. I've been pretty remiss on that, and I haven't done it yet, but once I start working on King's March, I'm going to start shipping out to get the tattoos for Energy Shield, and then slowly but surely I'm just going to tattoo away all of my int to Energy Shield, and that should help out some more with the amount of Energy Shield that I have. So I don't think I'll get to like that huge 10k mark that, you know, the Trade League guys are getting to, but I think I can comfortably get to 7500 or 8k ES just by tattooing a bunch of my int nodes away for Energy Shield. And why can I do that? Because of Supreme Ostentation, which is the Caspero Elegant Hubris. If I take this gem out right now, I'm like, yes, 13 strength, 61 dex off of being anywhere near where I'm supposed to be. So, yeah. Long story short, Caspero is great for this build because you just don't have to worry about solving for your attributes anymore. This comes from your 4-way, 5-way, whatever you want to call it, Legion farm. This build farms Legion exceptionally well, so I was able to get it pretty quickly once I got this build online. Prior to power charge stacking, I did do a little bit of the non-power charge version with just Mystic Refractor and like the taming. And I think I might have even had double taming, but yeah. But then you swap to a tool fall as soon as you can because that just gives you more damage once you start power charge stacking. So that's the build. What are we looking at doing in the future for SSF? What are we farming right now in SSF? So I just finished farming my Lycias, my Pact of Lycia. I actually farmed that on my other character because this character at the time wasn't really comfy doing nightmare maps. Now it's pretty comfortable. The single target damage is definitely up there, high enough that doing nightmare maps doesn't feel bad. But we farmed that on our other character, which is our summoner. And we'll go over that character real quick. Actually, before we go over that character, let's do something here because I am leveling gems for that character on this character, and because I've been playing this character so much. So what we're going to do is we're going to put all these gems back before we move. Whoops. I guess we might need to actually put them in a tab that other character can access. So let's go ahead and go AG Necro. All right, so let's do that. I have to be very careful because this character is now a Spectre Summoner, something that I have not played up until this league. Minion damage, control destruction, congregation. This is the big reason why I had to be careful, because if I went into my hideout without congregation, I was actually at risk of losing Spectres. So now that we have all our jewels back on, we have all of our stats good, we can go to the hideout, and you'll see that we have 13 Spectres, 10 of which are damaging Spectres, and 3 of which are support Spectres. Our 3 support Spectres are 2 Carnage Chieftains, and then a single Forest Warrior that I found, actually. So that's why I have Onslaught. My Onslaught is coming from a Forest Warrior right now. So I have Onslaught through Forest Warrior, automation for my Convocation, and then Purity of Elements, and then I'm also running a Generosity with Zealotry support. So currently sitting at 10k ES, as well as cap block when we're in maps. So chance to block attack and spell damage 30-30 right now, but that goes way up when we bone offering. So that goes all the way to 65-75. So we are cap block without roomies, which is really cool. So I believe roomies gets us to 75 actually, though. 75-75? 74-78. So yeah. Yeah, 74-78 with roomies up. So really close to cap block, or basically cap block. And then we are super tanky and have a ton of single target. This has become my Uber Bosser, and then I play WORB as my Map Blaster, and that's worked out really well. So that is always my goal in SSF, is to have more focused characters versus having all-around characters later in the league. Early on in the league, obviously, it's ideal to just have one character that can do as much as you can. And my summoner could do that early on, but the summoner was not the best mapper. So my goal was always to try to get a better mapping character together. And then the SSF stars aligned, and I was gifted all of the things I needed to play Power Trudge stack. And that's where we're at now. So that is it for my 2 builds currently. What are we cooking up in the future? I do have everything, I think, at this point for the Merc character, except the Clamulet, as I'm sure many other people are sitting in the same spot. The Clamulet, the Amulet from Clams, is just insanely annoying to target farm in SSF. I know it's annoying to target farm everywhere, but in SSF in particular, it's been a nightmare. I've done a whole bunch of voyages with clam infested shelves, and I've not seen one yet, so hopefully we get one. If we do, I will probably play the build. If we don't, I'm kind of content to continue farming on WORB and just building up my summoner character, and then if we drop something else cool or unique, maybe we re-roll into something else. But that's how I like to play SSF, is what do we have? What have the drops told us to play, and we go from there. I did end up with the critical strike is increased by overcapped lightning res, so I would like to do like the uber version of the Merc with the overcapped lightning res stuff. It would be really cool to do. And I also was in farming Abyss for my Aminamu's Gaze, which I never saw. I saw multiple of the Tech Rods and the Kurgals. So I actually have Tech Rods, which is the way people cap the Merc crit strike chance very easily. Basically, you just craft a bunch of Abyss Jewel sockets onto the gear, and you are able to crit cap for pretty much free between this and the overcapped lightning res chest, which I have both. So yeah. All right, that's about it for today. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. If you have any ideas for what I should play next, or something you specifically want to see, let me know that as well. That's it for me, and have a great rest of your day, afternoon, evening, whatever it is for you today, and I will see you in the next one.